Hello everyone, welcome after the holiday break. This is part 3 of the eyes. Today we're going to talk about the pupillary reflex, about how you're able to focus, why people need sometimes glasses, and about how do you see depth. So the first part is a bit of a recap and then we go on. So we're talking about pages 72, 73 and 74. So let's move to een soort van metro. So the pupils, what are they? They are a hole in the choroid. And the choroid is the red layer which has all the blood vessels and provides the eye with fresh blood and fresh nutrients and fresh oxygen. And the pupil is surrounded by the iris. The iris is a part of the choroid and the iris is the colored part. If you have bright and light colored eyes, your eyes need protection of sunglasses sooner than when you have dark colored eyes, and that's because the irises protects the eye from getting too much light on the retina. So the pupils also help that process. How do they do that? Well, there are behind the iris, so on the back side of the iris, there are two types of muscles. There are radial muscles and circular muscles. Radial muscles, they can pull the pupil wider. And the circular muscles, if they contract, they cinch the pupil. It means that if they cinch it, that the hole becomes smaller, as you can see on the left side of this picture, and the big pupil is on the right side of this picture. You need a big pupil if there is less light. If there is more light, you need a smaller pupil. So this working together, this balancing is called the pupillary reflex, and it's involuntary, which means you cannot control it. So if more light shines in your eye, then your pupils become smaller. But a pupillary reflex, if you go into where it is darker, then it will turn into something which is larger pupils. Yeah, okay. So this was for questions 16 and 17. Now let's move over to focus. So you're focusing on a subject means that your lens helps to project the sharp image on the macula, so on the point where the cones are. Then your lens needs to turn on a certain shape to make that possible. To focus in the eyes is called accommodation. And for the accommodation, you need your accommodation muscles. They're also called the ciliary muscles. And I'm going to tell you how it works. So when the lens is relaxed, then the lens is flat. And when the lens is pushed to a certain position, it's called convex or round or like a bubble. Let me show you in the book what I mean with that. So here is this figure. Come on, figure 12. And in figure 12, you can see that if something is close by, so you're looking at something which is close to your eyes, then your lens has to be convex, so round, to make sure that you focus on your macula. If something is farther away, for example, you're looking at this farm, then the lens is flat. So then this image is focused sharp on the macula. And you cannot see sharp just things which are right in front of your eyes and things which are far away. You can test that by focusing, for example, on your fingers, and then you see in the edges that everything is unsharp. So I can't read the screen right now. But if I can read the screen, I cannot see my hand sharp anymore. So that's how you can test it. It really works out like that. Okay, let's go back to the Prezi. And now I'm going to show you what it looks in an animation. So here we go. So I turned down the sound because it's very difficult language it uses. It says here non-accommodated and accommodated. So if you look at these images, the left one and the right one, you see that this is the iris. Here we have the cornea, the sclera, and here we have the ciliary muscles. And the ciliary muscles, they push and pull on these yellow and white bands here. And these are called the suspensory ligaments. So look at the difference that we spot on the left side of the image and the right side of the image. In the left side of the image, the lens is flat. Well, not really flat, but it's flatter than it is in its convex state, where you can see it over here. So now, in the right side, it's accommodated, and therefore the ciliary muscles contracted to push on the suspensory ligaments, which will push the lens in such a position that the lens will form this convex and round shape. So here we go again. See, here is the iris, which is also pushed out. So if the ciliary muscles contract, now they relax, now they contract, see, then this distance becomes farther and the light needs to travel farther before it reaches the vitreous body and it reaches the macula. So when the ciliary muscles contract, they push on the cruciate ligaments, which in turn will push the lens in a convex shape. And see, even the iris bulges out because of this very round shape of the lens. So again, to show you in your book, if it is a very round shape, then you're focusing on things which are nearby. You can also see it here, the accommodation or ciliary muscles, they contract and they push on the suspensory ligaments, which will push your lens to be a convex shape. And when they relax, you can focus on things which are far away. So, and this goes on and on for this video, so we quit it soon because he's talking about some other processes going on there. Let's see, here it goes. Relaxes, and when it contracts, it will push on this ligaments again, and it will push the lens in a more convex position. Here it goes. So, and it happens all automatically, so you don't have to work for that. Yeah, you have to focus on it, but it's not like something you can control really well. So it's an involuntary action again. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And in this next one, in this dead ad, we're talking about why do people need sometimes glasses to correct their eyes? Well, they're talking about the history, of course, and you can watch this on your own. So, but I'm going to skip to the part where they talk about refraction. Here it is. So what do they tell us here? Well, it says we have, for example, glass or water or our eyes, and when light drops onto it, it bends the light in a certain way. And that bending of light, that can make it sharper or unsharp. So here it tells us the cornea, so the part really in front of us, in the most front part of your eye, and the lens, they work together to focus it here on, what is the name again? Right, the macula, where the cones are. So it focuses it on the macula. So in a normal position, when your eyes work normal and fine, not like mine, then the cornea helps to focus the light on the lens, and the lens accordingly accommodates then when it's going to be very convex when it's very close, and it's going to be very flat when it's far away. So and it always makes sure that it focuses on the retina. But for some people, that doesn't work out because something is wrong with their eyes. They either see everything close by really sharp or everything far away really sharp. In this case, you see that the image is already sharp in the middle of the eye. You could say the eyeballs for this person are too long. And if that happens, they need glasses which have an opposite effect on the lens. So in this case, this person needs concave glasses. Concave means hollow, or minus glasses. So if your glasses, like mine, have minus glasses, it means that our lenses, they work too well. Or you could say our eyeballs are too long. Okay, so they are minus glasses, so they're giving an extra challenge to our super lenses. And then with the minus glasses, we will be able to project the image again on the retina. They call us people who have minus glasses, they call us short-sighted, because something really short by is easy for us without glasses to see really, really sharp. but everything farther away is really unsharp. So you could say our lenses are too convex. So that's all correctable with glasses, of course. Yeah. So let's move to this situation here. No, not this situation. Where is it? Yes, this situation. So here we have the cornea and the lens again, and now you see that the image is sharp far behind the eyeball. You could say the eyeballs are not long enough, but in this case, that's not the case. This is the type of farsightedness, and which means that the lens itself cannot become convex enough anymore. So we have to help the eye. So therefore we give plus glasses. Plus glasses help the eye in already bending the light before it hits the cornea, before it hits the lens. And these types of glasses are plus glasses, and people who wear them are far-sighted. So those lenses cannot become convex enough anymore. This happens usually in older people who need reading glasses, for example. So there you have it. It's the difference between convex and concave glasses. You can also see it in the book. So not here. Yeah, here it is. See, far-sightedness, then the image is projected behind the retina. Short-sightedness, then it's projected before the retina. So for people who are far-sighted, we give them lenses which are plus, so they already help to focus. And for people whose eyeballs are too long, then we give them minus glasses, so their convex super lenses have to work harder to project it just on the retina. All right, so what's the next thing we're going to talk about? Well, the next thing is seeing depth. And seeing depth, we can be quite short about that. Seeing depth has everything to do with two eyes. So your left eye sees a different image than your right eye. And how can you see this? Just by doing the thing that it's doing here in figure 14. So you keep up a marker, close one eye and then open the other, and vice versa, and you will see that the marker changes position magically, and because your eyes have split vision. Your brains combine them together, and therefore you can see that objects are farther away from your eyes or closer to your eyes. So that's quite easy. Seeing depth is extremely important when driving, for example, in a car or on a bike. So the last thing I want to talk you through is a cataract, and a cataract is a condition where the lens of the eye is not clear anymore. And what they do then, they open up your eye, so they open up the cornea, and they replace the lens with an artificial one. Right, this is everything we have to know for the eyes. So thank you a lot for your attention. See you in class. Bye bye.